This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull has limited patience for landlords renting substandard accommodation. The annual HP 48 Hours filmmaking competition took place over the weekend. And there were more shoes than usual in the Octagon to raise awareness of suicide prevention. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull says he's limited patience for landlords renting substandard accommodation. His remarks follow a survey of over 600 renters nationwide.
This year, The South Today has reported on stories from renters who have landed in hospital after living in damp, drafty, mouldy flats. The Cosy Homes Trust says while it's everyone's responsibility to ensure a healthy home, it's time for landlords to front up.
We have some shade and sun maps of the city that show there are some properties, for example in Northeast Valley, that get 6 minutes of sunshine in the winter. And if that's not a challenge, I don't know what is. So there have to be other things put in place for homes like that that don't benefit from passive sun, heat, warmth.
The Trust is presenting a public talk on housing warrants of fitness at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery this Thursday.
You hear some pretty horrible stories about prolific black mold and wet walls and water coming in from broken roofs and that kind of thing. And then you get other properties that are perfectly livable and wonderful high quality. So what we'd like to do is see the homes that aren't the high quality being brought up to a higher standard.
It follows on from a joint report released by Action Station and Renters United last Wednesday outlining the state of rental accommodation nationwide. The Dunedin City Council is also reviewing its options after the announcement that Wellington is setting up a voluntary rental warrant of fitness scheme.
Something like 70% of respondents were over 30, and that means that these aren't flats for them, these aren't crappy dives that they're willing to live through for a few years. They're not students, these are families, these are working people who are struggling.
The Residential Tenancies Amendment Act, which was passed last year, sets minimum standards for insulation and smoke alarms in rental properties as of the 1st of July 2019, but this new report is calling for an establishment of mandatory rental warrant of fitness, a limit to rent increases and reformation of the Tenancy Tribunal to allow tenants to take cases without fear of retribution. I'm Roselle LeBone for The South Today.
Community groups across New Zealand have received more than $5.7 million from the Southern Trust over the first half of 2017. The money, which came from gambling revenues, was allocated to 666 community groups. Some of the larger payouts included nearly $250,000 towards an Olympic Ambassador program and $125,000 towards a Christchurch sports hub. The annual HP 48 Hours filmmaking competition took place over the weekend, and teams from around New Zealand raced the clock to make a short film in just 2 days. Last year's Southland Otago champions, the Super Furious Ninja Dragons from Invercargill, were back behind the camera for another shot at a win. Sharon Rees has more.
For this team of filmmakers, Friday 25th through to Sunday 27th of August was all about lights, camera, The HB 48 Hours film competition sees teams writing, shooting, editing and submitting films in just 48 hours. The catch is, teams don't know their genre, characters or themes until 7 p.m. Friday.
On the Friday, you have no idea what you're going to get, so it can be a genre from any number of different things, you know, action or sci-fi, whatever. And there's a few elements as well that you have to include.
The Invercargill team Super Furious Ninja Dragons took out the regional award last year with their horror film The Loom of Dr. Flowers. And they're back again this year with an all-new genre.
We got dance or musical, which I think is a bit of a notorious genre. It's kind of the one that you don't necessarily want to get. but it's a really good challenge. I mean, we were probably a wee bit thrown when we got it, so you got to think pretty hard about how you're going to make that work.
He says the team was surprised to take the award last year, and while it would be a big achievement to win again, the competition can be tight.
Last year we weren't expecting to necessarily win, so it was a cool surprise. So as far as we go this year, again, we just, you keep an open mind. It would be nice to, win again. That would be awesome. But there's always some other really good teams and really good films that come in. So we just kind of keeping pretty open-minded about how it might go.
Their film will be screened at the competition heats on the 2nd of September, where they'll find out if they've made the finals for the second year running. I'm Sharon Rees for The South Today.
There were more shoes than usual in the Upper Octagon today. The nationwide Yes We Care organisation and local groups is travelling the country trying to raise awareness of suicide prevention. Daryl Baser joined those sharing their stories.
Shoes that no man would want to wear. 606 pairs of shoes were laid out on the Upper Octagon lawn today, representing the number of people who took their own lives during 2016.
2015 it was 579. We just got new figures released yesterday, 606. So we've had to add more shoes in. So there's 606 pairs of shoes on display here representing every recorded death as a result of suicide in 2016.
Macmillan's sentiments are echoed by the Yes We Care campaign coordinator, Simon Oosterman.
Yeah, shocking. I mean, it's appalling. It's the highest figures we've had since records began. It's just not acceptable.
The organisation heard this morning that many of the political parties agree an inquiry into the country's mental health crisis is necessary.
I mean, we have a majority of political parties are now supporting setting a suicide reduction target and holding an independent inquiry into our mental health crisis. If Parliament was sitting today, we'd have a majority to vote that in.
One woman was just passing and was so moved to share her story as well, as she lost a friend to suicide just last week.
Walking past, I wanted to see what was happening, so I'm so proud that there are people like you guys out here speaking on behalf of those who can't anymore. So sorry to hear about your husband, and so much strength for your family. It's a hard time, both being someone going through it and feeling like it's your only option, and going to the health professionals and being told you're fine, you're well enough to go home, and then hearing the same to my friends, and then they're gone.
Many of the people who spoke today shared their stories of loved ones who took their own lives. Those of you who know me through more than the television lens know my father took his life in 1990 when I was just 20 years old. It's something you learn to live with, but never fully get over. The Yes We Care Shoes Roadshow is due to arrive at Parliament on September the 10th, International Suicide Prevention Day. In Dunedin on September the 10th, 606 tea light candles will provide light in the darkness in front of St Paul's Cathedral. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
Still to come on The South Today, there is just one more day to run of the International Film Festival in Dunedin, and competitors come from schools all around North Otago for the annual schools cross-country event held in Oamaru.
For all your news from the southern regions as it happens, go to our Facebook page. The South Today, connecting you with your community thanks to New Zealand On Air.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
The University of Otago, an institute of world-class education and the social epicentre of the city, with outfits needed for more formal functions like the ball and for less formal functions like...
The zoo? Are you sure?
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, Dad, you'll definitely see me. I'm the one in the yellow and blue face paint and the onesie in the zoo.
From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books, with the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years, bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
If you're staring at empty walls, stare no longer. The Dunedin Art Show has arrived. Visit Dunedin's largest ever art show and take part in Otago's art sales event of the year. View and buy original artworks from established and emergent New Zealand artists. Thousands of artworks priced from $50. Opening night gala Thursday the 21st of September, with show days from Friday the 22nd to Sunday the 24th from 10 a.m. at the Edgar Centre, Andersons Bay. Visit the DunedinArtShow.co.nz for tickets and more info.
Welcome back. The International Film Festival has just one more day to run in Dunedin, and its publicist says it's been on par with other years. There's been a strong New Zealand-made cohort, with filmmakers travelling to take part in post-screening question and answer sessions. Daryl Baser caught up with filmmaker Simon Ogston following the screening of his film A Memory of Others.
Early Saturday evening in Dunedin, around 100 people ventured out on Bledisloe Cup night to see a movie about a Dunedin-based songwriter. The film A Memory of Others follows the life to date of Bill Doreen and his artistic career. Filmmaker Simon Ogston says he didn't meet the subject of the movie until Bill Doreen picked him up from the airport.
There were it was several months worth of emails and phone calls going back and forward. We never met in person. So, it was a challenging process. It was a reasonably complicated itinerary to put together, which served the needs of both, the filmmaker and the musician and all his collaborators. So that was quite a challenge, actually.
Ogston and another camera operator followed Bill Doreen on a 2-week tour of New Zealand in 2016, and says he learnt a lot more about the man on the road.
I didn't know what he was like. I think some people can find Bill a little bit intimidating, perhaps, but I didn't find him like that. I found him unfailingly polite and always up for the challenge, and we did ask quite a lot of him. I found him to be good company, and I didn't have an awful lot of expectations, really.
Speaking with The South Today recently, Bill Doreen remembered his musical beginnings.
We were pretty good sometimes and pretty bad most of the time, and then sort sort of gathered my skills together as the others did in those early bands, and and we started getting more serious about music.
New Zealand International Film Festival's Dunedin publicist Hannah Malloy says A Memory of Others was one of a strong contingent of locally made movies.
The New Zealand program's been amazing. I think all of the biggest audiences have been for New Zealand films, and also obviously the ones with the Q&As where the filmmakers are present, they're always really popular with people. People love that opportunity to drill down into why people do what they do.
While the movie My Year with Helen, about former Prime Minister Helen Clark, is due to return for general release, it's not yet known if A Memory of Others is scheduled to return. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
This weekend saw the annual schools cross-country event being held in Oamaru. The competitors came from schools all around North Otago. The South Today went to have a look.
After being rescheduled several times due to weather and race meeting commitments at Oamaru Racecourse, the North Otago Schools Cross Country went ahead this Sunday. Parts of the actual Oamaru Racecourse were used in the various races, with over 250 runners representing 18 different schools. Big crowds cheered on the competitors, some of whom who had come from as far afield as Twizel. Rudy Adrian, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, Coronet Peak provided almost perfect conditions today for the Winter Games, and we take a look at the region's weather.
The Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre is a standout attraction of Cromwell and Central Otago for travellers and locals alike, featuring the Harvest Hotel, which is Central Otago's gateway accommodation, featuring standard and premium rooms, which open onto breathtaking mountain, vineyard and rural views. The Harvest Hotel also has a relaxing, sun-trapped courtyard and standalone conference and wedding centre. The Hunting Lodge-themed Five Stags Bar and Restaurant provides an honest, welcoming, family-friendly place to grab a great feed and a relaxing beverage. Forage Information Centre and Cafe is light and spacious and serves fabulous food and bedazzling beverages and offers information and booking services. In every season, for every reason, the Gate Hospitality and Tourist Centre has something for everyone.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte, and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost feel as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
Autumn is here. Too late to sow grass seed, but never fear, Ready Lawn is here. Ready Lawn, your perfect all-year-round solution. Call Ready Lawn today.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product, and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
For 3 generations, the Kilpatrick family have ensured Jimmy's pies are still world famous in the South Island. Made to an old family recipe, Jimmy's pies have been one of New Zealand's traditional takeaway foods, prepared daily on the premises alongside a range of savouries, sausage rolls and cakes. Jimmy's pies are distributed throughout the lower South Island. Jimmy's pies are sure to satisfy your travelling munchies.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Just think, 80 years ago, this year, my grandfather set up Alex Campbell Menswear right on Cargill's Corner in South Dunedin. We've had some great years bringing Otago and Southland the very best of menswear for both business and everyday needs.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Thanks for staying with us. Coronet Peak turned on almost perfect conditions for the Winter Games competitors today. As well as sunny skies overhead, there was an icy course for some of the world's best giant slalom skiers. Mina Amso got amongst the action.
Hard, icy snow at Coronet Peak's Rocky Gully. Just what giant slalom skiers enjoy. Luck wasn't on the side of young New Zealand skier Ben Lothan Gallagher. Out after the first run, but able to watch and see how he might improve.
Well, it went okay. I was starting bib 80th, so I was near the back of the pack, and you need to get top 60 to qualify. So my run went well. I knocked off 17 bib numbers because it's kind of like a handicap, but I only came 63rd, so I just missed out on qualification even though it was a solid run. I'm trying to work on more solid upper body position, so I'm not a bit more stable on the ski, rather than, because if you look at all those guys, they're all very strong and able to keep their upper body in a really strong position.
Willis Feasy was the fastest New Zealander for the day.
I'm a little bit disappointed on how I performed today. I wasn't as quite good at skiing as I'd hoped. I don't think I achieved my goal, but the competition's great. I'm loving the atmosphere.
And Piera Hudson was the first New Zealander to compete in the giant slalom, but didn't quite make it to the top 3. She came 16th.
It's a really competitive field at these Winter Games, which is awesome. The depth is great, and there's a lot of girls going for it. I probably gave the course a bit too much respect that run, so I left a bit of time on the hill. But yeah, this run it's all about second run charge and just having no regrets.
For competitors from the Northern Hemisphere, the Games are providing snow conditions that are not available at home at this time of year.
It's good to get winter snow because in Norway it's usually just too warm this time of year, and it's glacier, so you don't get the same variation and the good hills that we get here.
The Winter Games continue tomorrow on Coronet Peak and Cardrona Alpine Resort. Mina Amso, The South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin Mayor Dave Cowles says he has limited patience for landlords renting substandard accommodation. His remarks follow a survey of over 600 renters nationwide. And the annual HP 48 Hours filmmaking competition took place over the weekend, and teams from around New Zealand raced the clock to make a short film in just 2 days. And the nationwide Yes We Care organisation and local groups is travelling the country trying to raise awareness of suicide prevention. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Phil Somerville.
Thank you. Let's go back to Queenstown, and the airports has put out its 30-year plan, which sounds a long way away, but the Queenstown airport's been soaring and passenger and plane numbers increasing so fast that they've got plenty of challenges on their hands. They obviously can't expand in all sorts of directions, so they're going to have to look at caps on passenger numbers at some stage. Look at using Wanaka Airport as in a dual function, and it looks like they won't be able to extend the runways for bigger planes. So look for that story and where they're looking to the future and seeing what can be done.
Yeah, because their growth's been almost exponential, really, hasn't it?
It has been. And,
yeah, and there's limited space on where they can go.
Very limited. Yeah, there's not much room for taxiing planes, and they can't extend the runway and all sorts of issues.
And not much room for those private jets either.
Indeed. Labor, of course, today made a big education announcement, which is relevant to us in Dunedin. Lots of money, and lots of free 3 years education and increased allowances and so on. So we've got the details about that, of course.
That will keep all the students happy tomorrow.
Well, yes, although perhaps the next generation of students even more than the current one.
Yeah.
On the Fashion Fresh pages, there's a big feature on Tanya Carlson. She's returned to New Zealand Fashion Week, which is this week, for the first time in a decade. So
fantastic, and she's a well-known Dunedin designer.
Yes, indeed. Lots of recipes too on those pages, and a wine column and a beer column, so that'll keep readers out of mischief.
And tell us what good wines to drink.
That's right. More serious story is the cost of asbestos in a hospital. Apparently it took 10 hours to change a light bulb, so because of the asbestos issues in the ceiling and all sorts of places. So it's a problem we can do without, but
That's
it's not an uncommon one.
Of.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Down at the university, we see submissions have closed on the general staff cuts. There's been about 600 from staff and students, so there's been enormous interest in that reorganisation of how the university runs that side of things. And I thought I'd mention too, at the Screenwriters Conference here in Dunedin, we've had a chat to Outrageous Fortune writer Rachel Lang, and she's talking to our reporter about how you create compelling characters. So,
well, she's certainly done that with the ones that she's created as well. That will be really good reading. Thanks for that, Phil. Lovely. And now look for what's happening in tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silberhorn Collagen Plus.
In today's southern view, we can see clear skies above the Robbie Burns statue in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, the South Island remains under a ridge of high pressure, which should bring fine weather into inland areas. But some cloud around the eastern coast. Despite the sun, temperatures will remain rather cold. To the southern outlook, Balclutha and Catlins can expect some light winds, clear skies and 11. Gore and Lumsden the same with 10 degrees. Westward to central, Alexandra has light winds, fine and 11 degrees, and Queenstown and Wanaka light winds, clear skies and a chilly 9 degrees. Te Anau similar with 10 degrees. Upwards to the northern outlook, Oamaru and Timaru light winds, fine and 11 degrees. Omarama and Twizel are the same but a chillier 9. Here in Dunedin, it will be cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 6. Tomorrow sees low cloud breaking to bring sunny periods increasing during the day, with temperatures staying cool at 11 and 6. It's cloudy on Thursday with some light showers at times and moderately cold easterly winds, 10 and 6. And down to Invercargill, it'll be fine with light winds with an overnight low of 6, mostly fine tomorrow, and a high of 11 and an overnight low of 5. And on Thursday with sunny periods and some high cloud, a high of 12 and a low of 6. And that's our news for this Tuesday. For the latest news from the South Today team, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook and at channel39.co.nz. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.